Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to the Sanctuary. Once again, we are playing Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn as a trip down memory lane. Kruznik X here. Let me brush you up to speed in case you forgot the rules. This trip down memory lane stipulations are, first and foremost, that I am doing this under New Game Plus on my main character, Chris Valentine. I am doing it as Meteor's job in the promotional art, so in 2.x, I am doing it as Warrior. All the instances I run will be done through duty support, with the exception of normal raids, alliance raids, solo duties, and duties that do not support. And finally, I am wearing either quest or patch level appropriate gear. So let's show off the gear I'm wearing right now. This is probably one of my least favorite gear sets in the A Realm Reborn saga, the knocked gear for tanks. Now back in the day, I used to run as, I ran as monk, I should say, but I still thought that the knocked gear looked pretty damn ridiculous. Not that the striking gear was any better. But this is the item level 110 gear that is made available. Now, made available through 2.0. Now, I've talked a little bit about Alagan Tomestones. This was the Geralt's Masterworks gear that is now available through Allied Seals, but back in Poetics, but back in the day, they were only available through Alagan Tomestones of Soldiery, which was the tomestone introduced in patch 2.2. We are going to talk more about Mordona and how it changed in 2.2 as well, but we will do that possibly around the time we cover that episode. For now, the Geralt's Masterworks gear was covered with the Noct attire for tanks, the Astrum attire for Lancer. Keep in mind, this was back during 2.0, but the Noct attire for tanks, the Astrum attire for Dragoon, the Gloam attire for Pugilist and Ninja, the Oral attire for Bard, the Even Star attire for our casters, and finally the Daystar gear set for healers. And honestly, I did not like the look of anything except for the Daystar gear, but even then it was like a huge, like, I had it for a spell, but only reluctantly. Anyways, let's move on with our story. Or let's move to our side-by-side. This episode, we are starting with episode 58, Mother of Exiles, which starts the... Oh, whoops. Yeah. We are starting with Mother of Exiles, which marks the beginning of patch 2.2 through the Maelstrom. Where we left off in the main scenario storyline was that we had... the Scions of the Seventh Dawn were met with the Ascian known as Elidibus. He claimed himself to be an emissary of the one true god, an Ascian nonetheless, and white-robed, unlike his black-robed brethren. We still do not know his claims, but in the meantime, we have moved... The Scions of the Seventh Dawn have moved to a brand new locale in the form of the Waking Sands here in Mordona. And as such, But with good news comes, of course, bad. During our adventures, the students of Baldessian's headquarters had pretty much disappeared, and we cannot reach them at the moment. How will this look? Well, I think it's time we waste no time in seeing how changes happened in this particular area. So let's stop dicking around and continue our story with the level 50 quest, Still Waters.
Truly there is no rest for the weary. Scarce had I begun to make myself at home when I received a request for assistance from Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern. It would appear their storehouse in Horizon has been the target of a series of covert robberies. Minor as they seemed in isolation, occasional discrepancies in the manifest were long dismissed as clerical errors. It was only during the concern's annual audit that a pattern became apparent. Significant quantities of crystals, and only crystals, were missing. I need hardly tell you what that may imply. The brass blades charged with investigating the thefts believes that someone within the concern is selling the crystals for profit. Alas, they have yet been unable to identify a likely suspect, and the concern's proprietors have grown frustrated by their lack of progress. Needless to say, I would not have agreed to intervene had the stolen goods been of merely monetary value. If there is even a possibility that the thief acts not out of self-interest, but in service to a primal, we can ill afford to wait for the blades to realize their mistake. Pray, depart for Horizon at your earliest convenience. Rendezvous with Y'shtola when you arrive. She and Thancred have already begun a preliminary investigation. I have every confidence that the three of you will get to the bottom of these thefts. I only hope our fears prove unfounded when you do.
Oh yeah, I forgot I changed my hairstyle back then. I didn't change my hairstyle much on Chris Valentine. Oh yeah, we gotta meet her in Horizon, so off to teleport. Ayan, could we expedite this, maybe? Oh, and of course it's raining. Alright, there's Y'shtola. Perfect.
Ah, Chris. Your assistance is most welcome. I have already spoken at length with the brass blades of the Rose, albeit to little avail. It would seem that the thieves took great pains to conceal their activities. I could go into further detail, but your time might be better spent in investigation, and I would only be repeating that which he related to me. If aught eluded my attention, mayhap it will not elude yours.
Boofaloopa.
Chris! What a pleasure to see you again! Y'shtola said to expect you. Terrible business, these thefts. We have yet to confirm the quantity of crystals stolen, but I dare say it may be greater than... but never mind that. I have news to share. A short while ago, the driver of a heavily laden carriage refused to halt for inspection and broke through one of our checkpoints on the Royal Alagan Sunway. The cart bolted off toward Eastern Thanalan, where, thank the gods, I hear that our colleagues were able to apprehend without further incident. Oh, we have some, changed dialogue. A speeding carriage? That would seem a curious choice for thieves of such proving cunning. Yet the Amalja do have a foothold in eastern Thanalan. And what of their cargo? Did they carry the crystals we seek? We should be receiving a report any moment now, but I fail to see what else it could...
Did you miss me, friends? I'm back, but I'm back, but I fear I come bearing disappointing news. Or on second thought, perhaps it's good news after all.
Thancred, wherever have you been off to?
I figured you'd had everything under control over here, so I just took a brief excursion to the east to check up on our Amalja friends. And wouldn't you believe it, I happened upon a runaway carriage on the way. And even was able to do my small part to help my friends in the Brass Blades intercept it. In all my years, I have never seen such a prodigious quantity of somnus. Yes. The Blades were calling it one of the greatest hauls they've ever seen. Stolen crystals, on the other hand, were nowhere to be found.
Is that so? Alas, I suppose we have no choice but to resume our search elsewhere.
We should reassess our options as well. Come with us, Chris. Yeah, some dialogue has seriously changed. Against all expectation. Oh, whoops. I hate when I hit the 0 key when I don't want to. Against all expectation, it would seem that the Amalja are innocent of this particular spate of crimes. By all indications, they have yet to replenish the stores of crystals exhausted during their last attempt to summon Ifrit. What I can't fathom is why anyone else would go to such lengths to obtain crystals, and in such quantities. It cannot be that we are dealing with simple thieves. If their motive were profit, why would they limit their trade to crystals alone? Plainly, we are missing something. While you think about what it might be, I shall inform Ulianger of our progress, or lack thereof.
Now then. Tis I. The situation may be more complicated than we anticipated.
Yeah, no shit.
Indeed, I shall remain watchful. Ere thou goest, another matter requireth thine attention. A young maiden, full eager to... Wherefore inquirest thou of her fairness? Oh, very well. Be she damsel or devil, I shall direct her steps to Revenant's Toll.
Yeah, they definitely re-recorded, because...
Save thine insinuations for one given to such impropriety. Thou shalt not find me amenable.
Hold up. Before we continue, I need to rewind a
Far
little
across
bit.
the sea from the land of Domar have we traveled.
Okay.
We seek audience with the ruler of these lands. Who here speaks for you?
It is such a shame. Well, let's continue the quest before we do. Any bright ideas? A solitary flash of insight? No. Well then, for want of a better suggestion, I say we try picking Fufaloopa's brain again. Who knows? If we work together, we may yet find something of use nestled away within it.
Oh, but it is good to see you return. I've given some thought to the matter, and I've just hit upon a most disturbing possibility. Oh, whoops. We have, man, a lot of dialogue changes in this patch. How could I have been so blind? Calm yourself, Fufaloopa. What is this disturbing possibility of which you speak? I was contemplating as to how the thieves' activities escaped unnoticed for so long, and then it came to me. What if there is someone among our own ranks conspiring with them? A traitor in our own midst! It would be most unfortunate if your fears proved well-founded, Fufaloopa. Indeed. If, for reasons of security, the concern decided to transfer the remaining crystals stored in the horizon to another location, their plans would be discovered the moment the brass blades were informed. Ah, but such a shipment would surely be well guarded. Would thieves as wily as ours risk open confrontation? Mayhap not, but neither would the concern be eager to present them with such an obvious target. Nay, they might instead elect to carry out the transfer in secret, to entrust the goods to, let us say, a lone Mikote miner, traveling without escort so as to not attract undue attention. But who? Ah, I see. Yes, the concern may well elect to do that, but to travel with so much cargo would be a strenuous task indeed, and this miner would certainly need to rest upon the way. Mayhap north of the bridge to Hammerley? A fine spot for a rest. Would you not agree, Chris? You lie in wait in the north, and I shall do the same in the south. Ahem! Forgive me, my friends, but I've received new orders. I must inform my men at once. Call me a cynic, but I would be surprised if these thieves lay down their arms and surrender. See that you come prepared to offer them some encouragement. Alright. Now, Bayan had to... Past Kruznik had to freaking deal with no flying and running around all of creation, but I have no such curse. Ah, there you are.
Got any more, fuckers? Nope, didn't think so. Let's expedite Bayan's little escapade here.
Stubborn to the last, as expected. You are unharmed?
A gang of sea-wolf thieves, and in Thanalan no less. I suppose there's a first time for everything.
Sea-wolves? All of them?
Aye, and all with the same taste in facial tattoos. Blue, in case you were wondering.
Our thieves are a long way from home. Thancred, if you would be so good as to attend to the outstanding matters in Horizon, I have inquiries to make.
To Horizon, then. Fufalupa will want to hear about your meeting with the thieves. You know what? I should break out my old chocobo. Even though it won't really matter much because, you know, now my chocobo has changed quite a bit from my normal one, but let's talk to Fufalupa first.
On behalf of the Brass Blades of the Rose, I thank you for your service to Horizon. But we have not been idle. While you were afield, we succeeded in identifying the traitor within our ranks.
Is that so? Then by your leave, I should very much like to have a word with the fellow in private.
No. I am afraid that will not be possible. Regrettably, he, managed to subdue the unit of blades dispatched to detain him, and he made good his escape.
Oh, for the love of... And how did he manage that exactly? Your men haven't been sampling that somnus we confiscated, have they? Or was he a giant in disguise?
No! But he was quite strong. A sea-wolf. Laminson born and raised, I believe. But do not worry, we will find him. You have my word on that.
I see. Pray keep me apprised of any developments. Yes? He's standing next to me. Understood. I fear our time together is at an end, my friend. Your services are required elsewhere. Awfully disappointing, I know, but one must follow where duty leads. You might try to look a little disappointed. Or do you mean to give me another one of your stoic nods? You do, don't you? Another stoic nod for you. Anywho-zy. The antecedent bid me tell you to make for Vesper Bay, where young Alphino awaits your coming most eagerly. It was he who had requested your assistance. Some commotion or incident? I am not privy to the details. While you do whatever it is that Alphino has planned for you, I shall endeavor to track down our traitorous Brass Blade. And when I do, you may rest assured that we will have our answers. I forgot that I tried to read so fast because I was trying to get through this entire expansion before another patch broke out. Because by the time I had done this, I think Revenge of the Horde had already started. But yeah, my chocobo has changed considerably from the normal Million Corn Yellow to straight up Dalamud Red. But I still run into walls when I'm not paying attention. Ah, there's Alfie. You are late. No matter. I know where our visitors are headed. From what I have been able to gather, this vessel belongs to a band of Domans who seek an audience with the Sultana. You are familiar with Doma, yes? In Othard? Well, like the rest of the nations on the eastern continent, it is ruled by the Garlean Empire. Given our visitors' unannounced arrival, as well as the state of their ship, I suspect they did not leave their homeland under the best circumstances. Needless to say, I should be very interested to hear their tale and, more importantly, what they know of the current state of affairs in the Empire. Such information could prove most useful. We would be fools not to pursue this opportunity, do you not think? Come with me to Uldar, Chris. Unless I am mistaken, and I am rarely mistaken, we will find the Domans bickering with a Sultan sworn on the Royal Promenade. You are uncertain of your role in the proceedings? Insurance. If our guests are not themselves Imperial agents, it seems fair to assume that they may be being pursued by some. And if not, who better than you to have on hand in the event of an unforeseen diplomatic incident? Besides, I do so enjoy your sparkling repartee. Satisfied? Good. I shall see you in Uldar. Right, off to Uldar. So far, so good. I mean, a fair bit of dialogue has changed within this patch alone. And several things. Oh. It matters not how many times you ask. Without the necessary permissions, none shall pass.
Hey, understand, good sir. We have not the leisure to lodge a formal petition. Time is of the essence. All I ask is that you summon your superior. Allow me to plead my case. Surely you can grant us that small kindness.
Away with you, and darken these doors no longer. I will not ask again.
You know not what you do.
I gather your pleas fell upon deaf ears.
A loyal man with a cold heart. I know his kind well.
I hope that you will find me more to your liking. Alfino Levalier, at your service. A friend. Which I believe makes me very, very nearly unique. In this part of the world, at least. Few indeed are your allies in Uldar, yet you will need some if you wish to endear yourselves to the wealthy and powerful. Pray, join me and my associate at the quicksand. There you may explain your situation to us, and we shall see if there is aught we can do to help. I forget, did Glamour happen? I need to check my patch notes because I think Glamour happened Glamour was released during this patch. It was, oh yeah, it was back in patch 2.2. Something new every day. Oh, and glamours were annoying. But let's cast a glamour. because I am not going to sit here wearing this ugly ass gear for all the cutscenes. Oh, not desynth. Cast glamour. And there we go. Do I want to keep the axe? Not really, but I'll hold on to the axe for now. At least until I get back to Mordona. Alright. Alphino.
We have traveled some several thousand miles across the sea from the nation of Doma, in hopes that we might find sanctuary in these lands.
Sanctuary, Lady Yugiri?
Aye. Lying within Othard, Doma was under the dominion of the Garlean Empire, as I'm sure you are aware. When the War of Succession broke out in Garlemald, we espied an opportunity to free ourselves from the yoke of imperial oppression and took up arms. Only to be crushed. And so I gathered what few Domans escaped the reckoning and guided them hither to your shores.
A war of succession? Then the Emperor... Forgive me. You said that Doma was under Imperial rule, did you not?
Doma is gone. Razed to the ground as an example to the other provinces.
12 have mercy. And your people?
On a ship anchored in Vesper Bay, flying borrowed colors. Many were complicit in the rebellion, or akin to those who were. They will not come ashore until I send word that it is safe to do so. I sought an audience with your rulers, but was summarily refused.
The lords of Ul'dah are not wont to entertain foreign refugees without suitable encouragement.
Mayhap I was foolish to expect otherwise, but our supplies run low and we have young ones in urgent need of care. I have seen the tents outside the gates, however. We are not the first to seek asylum, nor will we be the last.
Be that as it may, Ul'dah is no friend to Garlemald. Your tale would stir the hearts of many men and women here. The Sultana and the Syndicate will not be so easily swayed, but I shall see that you are granted an opportunity to plead your case.
This is within your power?
Well, far be it from me to boast, but I do have the ear of certain influential individuals.
I am in your debt.
Lady Yugiri, forgive me for observing, but your choice of attire seems like to evoke feelings of mistrust.
Men are wont to fear the unfamiliar. We know this from experience. We seek only to spare the people of Ul'dah unnecessary disquiet.
I shall defer to your experience, then.
I thank you for your understanding.
It seems I have urgent business with the Flame General. I leave our guests in your capable hands.
Cool. I do want to, before we continue with this, I want to pause for a second to discuss the voice actress that voiced Yugiri back in A Realm Reborn. Actually, Wait. Wait, I'm off. I'm dumb. We'll talk about that when we do our trip down memory lane for Heaven's Ward. For now, though, let us continue to speak with Ugiri.
If I may, sir. As I said earlier, we have been at sea for several moons, and our supplies are all but spent. I have not the heart to repeat the tales of our tribulations, nor would it please you to listen to them, I think. Suffice it to say, however, sacrifices have been made. Though it shames me to beg for more when you have already offered so much, desperation compels me. Gentle sir, if you or your associates could spare any provisions, anything at all, it would go a long way to lessen the suffering of my people.
All right, let us speak with Momodi about that.
Hells, why didn't you say so sooner, Chris? Of course I'll help. You couldn't have picked a better day, to tell the truth. A wealthy merchant and his entourage were due to have a banquet here on the morrow, see, but just send word they can't come. Me and I've got a boatload of foodstuffs and no one to feed. Best of all, they paid for the lot in advance. Go on and call Fridery and Catherine at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Tell them I sent the ship the Little Prince's order to the Waking Sands. Oh, and if they argue, just show them these letters. That should set them right.
All right. She's in the business of feeding refugees now? I normally want to question Mistress Momodi's judgment. That doesn't seem wise to me. I'll not speak for the children, but if you ask me, any man with can earn a crust deserves to go hungry. I did backwards last time.
My, that's a rather odd request. Mayhap you misheard our instructions? You know, you shouldn't encourage them like this. They'll start to expect it. You mark my words.
What a bunch of bitches. All right. Momodi.
They didn't give you any trouble, did they? Good. Now go and tell Lady Ugiri it's all in hand.
Okay.
I dare not hope for such magnanimity. I dare not hope for such magnanimity, much less expect it. Mistress Momodi is generous indeed. I shall be sure to thank her most humbly.
Lady Ugiri, I briefed the Flame General on your situation. I think you will be pleased with his reply.
We have been granted an audience?
Before the Sultana and the Syndicate both. We should return to the Royal Promenade at once.
You have done much for us, Master Alphino. I swear we shall return the favor.
Naught is owed, Lady Ugiri, for naught has been given. This small favor you fairly won with your words, and it is with words that you must win the favor of the Syndicate.
Then I shall choose them with care.
You will be accompanying us, yes? Good. Your presence may serve to remind the Syndicate of the true meaning of philanthropy, and that nothing so unpalatable will be required of them, assuming the Domans are willing to earn their keep. Come, The Flame General awaits us on the Royal Promenade. Alright, back to the Chamber of Rule, peeps. I remember when I used to get lost in Ul'dah. Alright. Reborn. A pleasure, Chris. The others are already inside. Let's not keep them waiting.
I, Yugiri of Doma, am honored to meet you at last, Your Grace. To mark this auspicious occasion, I should like to present to you the finest treasures our humble nation has to offer. Alas, the circumstances which have brought me here today have divested me of both time and dignity. I come before you as a pauper in direst need of aid, to request that you grant my people asylum.
I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, welcome you to our city. Be at ease, Lady Yugiri. Although I myself have heard the tale of your misfortune, I would ask that you recount it once more for the benefit of the others here present.
As you wish, Your Grace. For many years, my nation, Doma, suffered under the yoke of imperial rule, and my people yearned to be free. Thus, when a war of succession broke out in Garlemald, we sought to take advantage of the chaos and reclaim our liberty. Alas, our enemy proved less preoccupied than we had hoped, and our rebellion was put down in the most brutal fashion.
Those who survived, how many do they number?
More than 200 souls huddle within the cramped confines of our own galleon's hold. Yet this figure accounts for but one of a number of ships which escaped the Purge. It is my hope that you will allow us all to dwell within your walls. Should that prove unfeasible, however, I humbly ask that you accept as many of my people as your resources allow. Pray understand, we do not beg a boon, but propose instead an arrangement. We would serve as soldiers or tradesmen until our debt is repaid.
What are the Syndicate's opinions on this matter?
I, for one, think it's a marvelous idea. Lady Yugiri and her people strike me as an industrious lot, and there are parts of the city which have yet to be fully restored. If they are willing to work, I see no reason not to let them.
The head of the Mirage Trust is not known for his generosity. He sees profit in this.
I agree. That said, these are foreign refugees. To admit them would require a formal resolution. Shall we call a vote?
The law is the law.
Lord Lolorito?
Tell me, are you blind or willfully ignorant? Even now, our streets are choked with the displaced victims of the Calamity and Alamigan refugees. They live hand to mouth, subsisting on aid provided by the immortal flames, the cost of which grows ever higher. The wealth of Ul'dah is not without limits, my friends. And need I remind you that these refugees are prone to violence and criminal activity? You have all read the reports, I think. Without homes or employment, it is only a matter of time before men grow desperate and take that which they imagine has been unjustly denied them. Yet, knowing this, you would have us swell their ranks. Mayhap you think the brass blades and the flames are not hard-pressed enough?
Some say the chairman of the East Aldenard Trading Company passes Gil thrice daily. This may explain how he came to be the wealthiest man in Uldar. Or it may simply be that he's ruthless beyond reckoning.
Surely the Sultanate can support the few hundred domins Lady Yugiri represents. That our resources have been taxed, I do not deny. But we are hardly in danger of financial collapse. I move that an exception be made.
An exception, Your Grace? I am suddenly reminded of a similar debate some years ago regarding a number of Alamigan refugees, if memory serves. What were your words that day? Yes, the law is the law, and so our visitors remained in Little Alamigo. Mayhap our wise and benevolent Sultana would be so good as to enlighten us as to which other of our laws should not be upheld.
Mind your tongue, Lolorito.
My lord, I share your concern for the welfare of our great nation, but we must endeavor to take a longer view. You know as well as I that people can be a resource still more precious than gil.
Precious or not, they were never yet so reliable. And unlike those who frequent your establishment, I have no desire to gamble with my future. Uldar's greatest asset is, and has ever been, her material wealth. We risk this at our peril. One need only look to Teleji Adeleji's example for evidence of the danger in allowing sentiment to dictate policy. How far the vaunted Mirage have fallen, both in repute and profitability, since he began employing refugees.
How I choose to conduct my affairs is not your concern, my lord.
A proposal has been tabled. Given its urgency, I move we forego further debate and call a vote. To accept the Doman refugees or not. Those in favor, I bid you remain. Those opposed, I bid you leave.
And there goes Lolorito. There goes Dulala, who we don't really meet until later.
Would that it were within my power to welcome you and your people, Lady Yugiri. As you have observed, however, my authority in such matters is regrettably limited. Without the consent of the Syndicate, I cannot act.
I understand, Your Grace, and I appreciate all that you have done on our behalf.
The nerve of the man! If that bastard had not forsaken the eastern trade route, Little Alamigo would now be thriving. Oh, that you should have traveled so far under such dire circumstances, only to be refused in this manner is utterly unconscionable. Pray, accept my sincerest apologies.
Now that the Empire no longer poses an immediate threat, they see little reason to maintain the pretense of unity.
Uh-huh.
The Monitorists have grown especially defiant of late. Lord Lolorito most of all. But this is neither the time nor place for that discussion.
Such a shame. But with that, we are gonna call it a night because it's getting late. So if you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned for final announcements. If you're watching the highlight on YouTube and you like the video, click the like button below and leave a comment. Subscribe by clicking here and click the bell icon for notifications. Click here to watch more, click here to watch the full trip down memory lane, and click here to watch the next episode when it comes out.